Have you ever felt like your life is spinning wildly out of control? Like you're drowning in pressure, overwhelmed by decisions, or stuck in an endless loop of stress, regret, or emotional chaos? Maybe you just lost your job. Maybe a relationship fell apart. Maybe you're waking up each day with anxiety buzzing under your skin, scrolling your phone to escape the heaviness that doesn't seem to go away. In moments like these, it's easy to believe we're powerless. But what if you're not? What if there's a mindset, one forged in the fires of adversity by warriors, leaders, and philosophers, that can help you not only survive life's storms, but stand strong in the middle of them? Today, we're going to explore one of the most practical, battle-tested systems for mastering the mind and reclaiming control, Stoicism, and not just in theory. We'll break down real-life, actionable lessons from two of its greatest voices, Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, who lived through war, exile, illness, betrayal, political chaos, and personal loss, and still found clarity, peace, and strength. These aren't empty quotes to throw on Instagram. These are tools to face adversity head-on, tools to train your emotions, sharpen your focus, and build unshakable inner calm in a world that's constantly trying to pull you apart. By the end of this video, you'll leave with a full Stoic toolkit. Simple, powerful mindset shifts that you can apply today, not years from now, to rise above distraction, anxiety, and self-doubt. You're here because you're tired of noise, tired of gimmicks. You want a mindset that actually works, that gives you control over your reactions, freedom from emotional chains, and clarity when the world feels foggy. So, if that's what you're seeking, you're in the right place. And if you value this kind of content, philosophy that hits deep, psychology that works, wisdom that stands the test of time, subscribe to the channel. It's free, it fuels our work, and it helps more people discover life-changing ideas like these. And don't skip ahead. Because if you're here, you're not looking for quick fixes. You're here to master your mind. That already puts you in the rare minority. You're not average. You're the exception. Let's begin. Seneca once wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." At first glance, it sounds poetic. But in today's world, where our attention is pulled in every direction at once, it's one of the most urgent truths you'll hear. Right now, we live in a culture that glorifies being busy. Checking your phone during dinner, scanning 10 tabs at once, hustling so fast you forget why you're even working. But here's the truth. Multitasking is a myth. The science is crystal clear. Every time we switch tasks, our brain burns energy. We lose focus. We make more mistakes. We feel more overwhelmed. And that constant mental switching? It's frying your nervous system. It's destroying your ability to think clearly. It's what makes your mind feel like a browser with 37 tabs open, and one of them is playing music, but you can't figure out which. Seneca saw this over 2,000 years ago. His advice? Slow down, be fully present. Do one thing well. Marcus Aurelius doubled down on this when he wrote in Meditations, concentrate every minute, like a Roman, on doing what's in front of you with precision, dignity, and purpose. Free yourself from all distractions. This isn't just about getting more done. It's about how you feel. When you give your full attention to something, whether it's writing, listening, cooking, or even just breathing, you enter a state of flow. That's where clarity lives. That's where anxiety dies. And here's the twist. True presence isn't just a Stoic virtue. It's a superpower in the modern world. Psychologists call it attentional control, the ability to guide your focus consciously, instead of being yanked around by every ping, notification, or headline. The more you build this muscle, the less reactive you become. You stop living on autopilot. You start acting with intention. When you focus fully, you not only get more done, you become more powerful. You become harder to shake. You start living on purpose. Even ancient Greek thinkers like Plato and Aristotle emphasize this. For them, attention was the foundation of wisdom. If you can't focus on truth, you can't live by it. So here's the Stoic challenge. Start small. Turn off your notifications. Pick one task. Do it with full presence. Feel the difference. This is how you reclaim your mind. This is how you silence chaos. This is how you build Stoic strength from the inside out. Seneca once said, "All the greatest torments stem from an undisciplined mind." Think about that for a second. He's not talking about external events, not disease, not betrayal, not even death. He's pointing directly at the mind, the one place we often neglect while obsessing over everything else. In the world of Stoicism, freedom isn't about money or status. It's not about being liked or admired. It's about control over your emotions, your reactions, your inner world. Because here's the truth. What happens around you is less important than what happens within you. And most of our pain? It's not caused by the events themselves, but by the meaning we attach to them. Someone insults you? That's just sound. You get rejected? That's an outcome, not a reflection of your worth. You fail? That's feedback, not a verdict. But unless you train your mind to see it that way, you'll get pulled into the storm every time. Epictetus said it bluntly. No man is free who is not master of himself. That's Stoicism in its rawest form. You want freedom? Don't wait for the world to be peaceful. Train yourself to become peace in the middle of the world. This doesn't mean bottling your feelings or pretending to be unaffected. Stoicism is not emotional suppression. It's emotional regulation. It's developing the awareness to pause, evaluate, and choose your response, rather than react on autopilot. You don't just explode in anger. You don't wallow in despair. You observe. You breathe. You respond. Calmly, deliberately, powerfully. Aristotle described this as the golden mean, not excess, not deficiency, but the balanced path. Courage between cowardice and recklessness. Temperance between indulgence and denial. Wisdom between naivety and cynicism. Modern psychology backs this up. Studies show that people with high emotional regulation skills are more resilient, happier, and better at handling stress. They succeed more, lead better, and live longer. So how do you build this Stoic muscle? You journal your triggers. You pause before you speak. You question your first reaction. Is this helpful? Is this necessary? Is this aligned with my values? You remind yourself. You don't control others. You only control how you show up. Every time you choose thoughtful response over knee-jerk reaction, you're rewiring your brain for self-mastery. You're becoming a Stoic, not just in theory but in action. Seneca once advised, rehearse them in your mind. Exile, torture, war, shipwreck. Why would anyone intentionally visualize catastrophe? Because Stoics believed in preparing the mind before the chaos, not after. They called this practice premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. And while it sounds grim, it's one of the most empowering mindset techniques you'll ever learn. Imagine this. Instead of ignoring the worst-case scenario, you face it head-on, mentally, calmly, strategically. Not to dwell in fear, but to disarm it. Let's say you fear losing your job. Most people avoid the thought. They push it down. But the Stoic? They visualize it, accept the possibility, and prepare. Update the resume. Save an emergency fund. Build a side skill. Talk to mentors. Now, the fear doesn't control them. They've already faced it. This isn't negative thinking. It's mental strength training. Think of elite athletes. They simulate pressure in practice so they don't choke in real games. Think of pilots. They run emergency drills constantly, not because they expect disaster, but so they're ready, if it comes. Same with the Stoic mind. By contemplating adversity, we make it less scary, less shocking, less destabilizing. We also become more grateful for what we have now. Seneca put it beautifully. He robs present ills of their power who has rehearsed their coming. And here's the paradox. When you prepare for the worst, you often experience more peace, not less. Why? Because your brain stops spinning stories of helplessness. It now has a plan, a path, a level of control. Marcus Aurelius echoed this when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So next time anxiety creeps in, don't just bury it. Face it like a Stoic. Play out the scenario. Ask, what's the actual worst that could happen? What could I do to prepare? What would I still have control over? This practice transforms fear into readiness, and readiness into confidence. Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." This is the Stoic blueprint for building resilience, not by waiting for life to test you, but by testing yourself first. It's a radical idea in our comfort-obsessed world. Seek out discomfort on purpose. Why? Because comfort is seductive. It lulls you into weakness. It makes you soft, slow, reactive. But Stoicism teaches that discomfort is not your enemy. It's your training ground. The ancient Stoics practiced something called voluntary hardship. They would fast, sleep on the floor, wear simple clothes, or walk barefoot, not because they were punishing themselves, but because they were preparing their minds to face real difficulty with grace and grit. Seneca would periodically eat plain meals and wear rough clothing, reminding himself, "Is this what I feared?" This practice was liberating, because when you've chosen discomfort, you no longer fear its arrival. You build familiarity with challenge. You realize you can survive and even thrive without your usual comforts. Today, we can apply this mindset in dozens of ways. Take cold showers, do hard workouts, speak in public, tackle the scary project, wake up earlier than usual, say no to things you normally say yes to. Each time you voluntarily embrace discomfort, you're conditioning your mind to stay calm under pressure. You're proving to yourself that comfort isn't required for peace, progress, or self-worth. And ironically, it makes the good things in life more meaningful. When you fast, food tastes better. When you struggle, success feels richer. When you stretch yourself, you grow. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it does and you will be okay. In other words, stop chasing ease, start chasing excellence. Because the road to greatness is paved in discomfort. And here's the twist. Discomfort isn't just where growth happens, it's where joy lives. Joy in knowing you're stronger than you thought. Joy in earning your confidence. Joy in walking through fire and coming out forged. You don't become stoic by avoiding challenge. You become stoic by inviting it, embracing it, and learning from it. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This might be the most important Stoic lesson in today's world. Because with all our progress, our comforts, our technologies, our luxuries, we are still prisoners of our own minds. And one of the biggest mental traps? Victimhood. It's easy to fall into. Life feels unfair. People mistreat us. Opportunities slip away. We start saying things like, why does this always happen to me? I can't catch a break. It's not my fault. It's them. But Stoicism says, no, that's not power. That's surrender. The moment you blame someone or something else, you give away your agency. You hand over your emotions, your outcomes, your future. That's not Stoic. That's self-defeat. The Stoic path is different. When something happens, good or bad, you ask, what is within my control? What is my role in this? What's the next best move I can make? Because here's the truth. Even if you didn't cause a problem, you're still responsible for your response. Let's say you didn't get the job you wanted. The non-Stoic spirals. They're biased. It's hopeless. The Stoic reframes, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? Where's the opportunity in disguise? Marcus Aurelius said, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. Read that again. It's not that you deny pain. It's that you choose not to let pain define you. You choose meaning over misery, growth over grievance. Reframing is power. It's how you take a setback and turn it into strategy, how you transform heartbreak into healing, how you stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a student of life. This is the art of Stoic perspective, shifting from why me to try me. And modern research confirms what Stoics knew centuries ago. People who practice cognitive reframing are more resilient, more optimistic, and better equipped to navigate adversity. When you own your mindset, you own your life. When you blame the world, you stay stuck. But when you take responsibility for your story, you become the author, not the victim, of your fate. Seneca once wrote, "Retire into yourself as much as possible." In our hyper-connected, always-on digital world, that sounds almost rebellious. Because today, solitude is often misunderstood as loneliness or isolation. But the Stoics knew better. For them, solitude was a sacred space, a mental and emotional retreat, where you disconnect from the noise of the world and reconnect with your inner compass. Marcus Aurelius put it beautifully. Nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. This is not about escaping life. It's about strengthening yourself to face life better. Stoic solitude isn't passive, it's powerful. It's the space where reflection happens, clarity is found, and decisions are made with integrity. In those moments of silence, away from distractions, crowds, and constant stimulation, you begin to hear your own thoughts again. You begin to see your values clearly, without the fog of influence or urgency. Seneca himself would routinely take time for journaling and quiet thought, not to withdraw from the world permanently, but to re-engage it with renewed purpose and strength. So how do we practice Stoic solitude today? You don't need a cave in the mountains, you just need intention. Wake up 15 minutes earlier to sit with your thoughts. Turn off your phone and take a walk without podcasts or music. Reflect in a journal each night. What did I do well? What could I have done better? Ask yourself, are my actions aligned with my principles? This is how you cultivate autarkia, the Stoic ideal of inner self-sufficiency. A mind that is anchored, a spirit that doesn't shake, a soul that isn't easily swayed by the chaos outside. Solitude helps you slow down and observe the storm without being swept up in it. It helps you respond instead of react. It builds the foundation for a life of composure, clarity, and character. And when you return to the world, you do so not overwhelmed, but empowered. So let's bring it all together. We began this journey asking, what if there was a timeless mindset that could help you not only survive, but thrive in the chaos of modern life? Well, there is. And it's not just philosophy, it's a way of life. Here's what Stoicism gives us: focus over distraction. Be everywhere is to be nowhere. Seneca. Instead of scattering your attention, you channel it with intensity. Emotional mastery over impulsive reaction. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. You become the calm in the storm. Mental preparation over panic. Rehearse them in your mind. Seneca. You anticipate setbacks and respond with strength. Voluntary discomfort over soft stagnation. Difficulties strengthen the mind. You build inner toughness by choosing challenge, perspective over victimhood. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. You reclaim your story and rewrite it with wisdom. Solitude over distraction. Retire into yourself. You cultivate clarity in a noisy world. But most of all, Stoicism teaches you this: you are not at the mercy of the world. You are the master of your response. You may not control everything that happens, but you always control how you interpret, respond, and grow. That's power. That's freedom. That's Stoicism. So here's your challenge moving forward. Don't just watch this. Practice it. When something annoys you, pause, breathe, respond intentionally. When you're tempted by ease, choose the harder, nobler path. When you're afraid of loss, remember what you truly control, and when the world feels overwhelming, return to yourself. Reflect, recenter. These are the actions that separate the average from the exceptional, the reactive from the resilient, the distracted from the disciplined. And if this message resonated with you, if you felt something awaken inside you, then you're already on the path. So keep walking. Keep choosing growth over comfort, purpose over pleasure, and clarity over chaos. Thank you for watching and supporting this work. If you're ready for more, check out the next video on your screen, packed with even more Stoic practices for building inner strength, emotional mastery, and lasting peace. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, not just to this channel, but to a life of philosophy in action. Remember, the journey to mastery isn't about speed, it's about steadiness. And every step you take with intention brings you closer to a life of virtue, courage, and wisdom. Stay grounded, stay strong, and most importantly, stay stoic.